Welcome. Welcome, graduates, if everybody can take their seats. Welcome to the 2019 Evergreen Tacoma graduation. I'm Pasha Abraham, and this is Grant. We are going to be your mistress and master of ceremony. I would like to introduce Robin Henderson for a musical performance.
And as Robin makes her way up, I want to thank everyone for being here. Particularly, I want to thank our board of trustees who are here. Thank you to Monica Alexander, a Tacoma grad, Karen Frazier, Irene Gonzalez, Ed Zuckerman, and on the board of trustees and graduating today, Kathlena Lee. Also like to say thank you to President George Bridges for being here. And it is my genuine pleasure to say thank you to Dr. Mims, who is here today. So again, thank you so much. Thanks to everyone for being here. And now, Robin.
Well, we have a keyboard and it decided not to work. But that's okay. I'm from that era that if you don't have the music, you make it with your hands. Is that all right? I made it out all right. I made it out all right. Oh, I made it out. Come on, I made it out all right. I made it out all right. Ooh, yeah. I made it out. I made it out all right. I made it out all right. Yeah, yeah. I made it out. I made it out all right. I made it out all right. Thank you, because you didn't let me go forsake me. Thank you. You didn't let my enemies take me. I've been through the fire. I made it out. All right. Oh, yeah. One more time. I made it. I made it out. Come on. I made it out all right. I made it out all right. Yeah. I made it out. I made it out all right. I made it out all right. Come on. I made it out. I made it out all right. I made it out all right. This year, y'all. We made it out all right. Oh, thank you, because you didn't leave me nor forsake me. Thank you. You didn't let my enemies take me. I've been through the fire. I made it out. All right. I think I'll say it one more time. I made it out. I made it out all right. I made it out all right. Yeah. I made it out. I made it out all right. Sing it with us. I made it out. I made it out all right. I made it out all right. 2019. I made it out. I made it out all right. I made it out all right. Thank you. Because you didn't leave me nor forsake me. Thank you. You didn't let my enemies take me. Thank you. You didn't leave me nor forsake me. Thank you. You didn't let my enemies take me. I made it out all right. Through all those tests, I made it. evening. I made it out all right. 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 Thank you, because you didn't leave me nor forsake me. Thank you, you didn't let the enemy take me. My enemies take me. I made it through the fire. I made it out. All right. All right.
What a way to get started, huh? We would now like to introduce Natasha Lamique and Gregory Porter, who will introduce the faculty and staff.
I just want to say welcome, community, our people. Thank you for being here, for showing your beautiful faces, to supporting not only the families that help to support our students, but also our alumni. Our alumni, can you show us that you're in the house? All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. As we know, we enter to learn, we depart to serve, and then we come back and we do it all over again. So thank you. Thank you. I want to say thank you to our staff, Marla German, who helps make this place go round and round. Dan Clark, who's one of the hardest working men I know. Yes. Susan Van, thank you for all that you do. Thank you. And as you know, we also have to continuously thank Miss Vicki. Yes, Vicki Buford, thank you. All right, also want to thank Lee Little, who is stuck in traffic, my friends. So we hope to see him here, but he's here in spirit. All right, all right. And we also want to recognize Dr. Peter Bacho. Yes. Thank you. Yes. We love you for all the hard work that you do, and we're grateful to have you back. Thank you. We also want to recognize Dr. Mingsha Lee. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Dr. Marcia Tatarunga, who is with us. Yes. Dr. Paul McCreary, please rise. Dr. Gilda Shepherd, please rise. Dr. Anthony Zaragoza, please rise. I love that I don't even have to say anything. I just have to say their names, and we all know what goodness they bring to this campus. So I just want to continue to revel in that love and to recognize it for what it is, because that is what Tacoma program is all about. We love on each other, and we share that with our community. So thank you, guys. And I did not forget, yes, I know, Dr. Barbara Laners, who was with us for 19 years. 19 years she spent with us here at Evergreen, Tacoma. All right. And Dr. Mims, we want to say thank you again for the legacy that you've created here. We are so proud to have our graduates be a participant in that, and we look forward to many, many more classes graduating here from the Evergreen Tacoma program. I also want to ask our Olympia folks, can you please rise, our Olympia staff and faculty that came and joined us today? Do we have any Olympia folks in the house? Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to graciously pass this mic on back now and say thank you, everyone. I'll be back.
Oh, there's a little spider friend. Hi. Come here. Don't kill spiders. They deserve to live too. Thank you, Natasha. So next, I'd like to introduce Donna Griffin from the Tacoma Alumni Association presentation. Thank you.
Class of 2019. All right. Well, my name is Donna Griffin. I graduated in 2002, and I'm proud to stand before you today to say that I am the current alumni president. And I'm here to invite each of you, now that you have graduated, to join us. We meet every third Tuesday of the month, except for in July, 6:30 p.m. right here on campus. We'd love for you to join us. We have a bunch of ideas. Our goal is to do what we can to support the campus, to support the students. And the more of you that can come and join us to help with that, I think the better, the greater our campus will be. So if you have any questions or concerns or need any answers to anything, please contact me. We have some contact cards that we're going to leave out on the table over there. And we hope to see you all third Tuesday of each month. Thank you.
As we know, traffic can be a bummer here sometimes. Dr. Little is still in traffic. Dr. Lee Little is in traffic, so will not be able to present the Ernestine Grace Kimbrough Award and Community Appreciation, but we will get to that when we can. So then, since we are skipping that, I would like to bring up Dr. Anthony Zaragoza, who will introduce our faculty speaker.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome, and thank you for the singing and the songs that we experienced here today. Let us give one more round of applause for Robin and the music. That is what makes Tacoma graduation special. That is what shows our families and our communities how special of a place we are. It gives me great pleasure to bring up our faculty speaker. Dr. Gilda Shepard is sociologist, filmmaker, educator. She is currently a member of the faculty here at Evergreen Tacoma campus. For over a decade, she's been teaching sociology courses at several prisons in Washington State. Dr. Shepard is a sponsor of the Black Prisoners Caucus and in Washington State prisons, and is co-founder and faculty for FEPS, that's Freedom Education Project in the Puget Sound, an organization offering college credit courses at Washington State Corrections Center for Women. Among her recent recognitions, Dr. Shepard is the 2019 recipient of the Artist Trust Fellowship, December 2017 Hedgebrook Fellow for Documentary Film. Dr. Shepard is an award-winning filmmaker who has screened her documentaries throughout the United States, internationally in France at the Cannes Film Festival, and in Germany at the International Black Film Festival in Berlin. Dr. Shepard is currently in post-production, oh, I see the spider, is currently in post-production of her documentary, Since I've Been Down, on education, organizing, and healing, developed and led by incarcerated women and men in Washington State prisons. Shepard is the author of several publications. In her recent books is entitled Culturally Relevant Arts Education for Social Justice, A Way Out of No Way. She is just returning from a 3-month sabbatical and a visiting lecturer at Aseshi University in Ghana, West Africa. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Gilda Shepard.
Wow. Hey, media. I love it when the media's around, huh? They make you look good, sound good, stand straight, and all those kinds of things. Let's give it to Evergreen media staff. I missed you. I didn't realize how much I would miss you. And I miss my esteemed faculty as well. Let's give them a hand. But you see, I carried you with me, not as a burden, but as a guide. Gloria Oswaldo says that we make a path by walking. You have helped me make that path, helped me put one foot in front of the other. Wait a minute. Did you all hear Dr. Z's commencement speech the other day? But I want to say, coming to our graduations, be them in Olympia or be them in Tacoma, makes me proud to be a Greener and definitely a Sankofa. Yeah. You know, when you hear the board, the president of the chair of the board of trustees, Fred Goldberg, say, as a poet, I didn't know, I said, is this man a poet? When he talks about looking at the waves sitting on the beach that we navigated like we navigate through life. But he tells us, not in a warning way, but in an elegant way, to watch out for the waves you do not see. Watch out for the waves you do not see. We can ride those waves, but sometimes I'm telling you, when you think you're on your stride, here comes one that you did not see. That's the reason why we call our graduates walking miracles. They navigate through all kinds of terrain, so I thank you, Fred Goldberg. We heard students, Felicia Yarbrough, talking about the importance of failing, but not failure, but how you can get up and do something. We heard Carolina Flores talking about being born in Mexico and having the freedom to say that she's a gay Latina scholar and graduate. I want my children, my grandchildren, to have that freedom to say who they are. And she says, as all the students say, as you have reminded me day in and day out, that this place gives you that freedom. Thank you so much. Let freedom ring. And then we hear from the commencement speaker, who also went to school here, Tracy Rector, who said the first time she picked up a camera was right here at Evergreen, Tacoma, who has gone on to create the Longhouse Media that helps more than 300,000 Native youth. Can you imagine that? Yes, indeed. And then she talks about the importance of art as healing. She talks about how it is important for us to discover our reason for being, and that art helps us do that. Art is healing. But my dear friends, Gwendolyn Brooks, the poet, reminds us that art also hurts. Art urges voyages. And it's easier sometimes to stay at home. That's the reason why you hear some people say they can't watch when they see us about the so-called Central Park Five. Let's call their names. His name is Antron McCrae. His name is Yusef Salom. Come on. His name is Corey Wise. His name is Raymond Santana. His name is Kevin Richardson. And the camera of Ava DuVernay, and the brilliance of the camera work, thank you, of Brandon Young. That's the reason why we say sometimes we can't even watch that, but we must. Some of us watch it day in and day out when we get up and we walk the streets. Some of us walk it when we walk into a classroom, so we must see it. Because I know some of you are going to be teachers. You're going to be working in political economy. We have the Native Pathways programs who are going to bust out everywhere. We have people who are going to be scientists. Isn't that right, Dr. Lee? Because the last time I was up here, I brought, as the faculty speaker, I brought the brilliant Dr. Lee. Could you stand up again, Dr. Lee? Dr. Lee. I don't like to be alone, right? Dr. Lee is, MD trained in Beijing. She's a PhD in pharmacology from Cornell, and she's an out-of-sight slam poet. Well, not slam poet, but I bet you she could slam. I also brought with me up on the stage, this podium, I brought Professor Barbara Laners. I'm going to tell you something. I wanted to talk about love, fear, and self-interest. Self-interest does not need to be selfish, but we need to understand that when we struggle against racism, homophobia, and we're struggling in the streets to put a smile on a child's face when they start to read, when we look at children have been separated from their parents and put in camps that were once for Japanese people, that they are still there, we have to realize that that is not in our interest. That those children are our children. So it is in my interest to bring to the stage Barbara Laners. Professor Barbara Laners. Yes. I want her to come up here right now. There's no way. I did all this speech, but I'm going to say something, but give back is more than words. Give back is action. And here she is, my sweetheart, my best friend. I'm going to stand to the side.
Thank you, Dr. Shepherd. Greetings. You can always count on Shepherd to conscript you into doing what you were not assigned to do. And that is what happened to me. But I am happy and honored to greet the parents, the faculty officials of Evergreen State College, and all of you, some of whom I have bullied for 2 years. But I can say here with great pride that you have made it, and some of you have made it through the rain. You've lost children, you've lost brothers, and all kinds of family members. But you withstood that with the help and support of your fellow students. You are here today. And that is testament not only to your strength and fortitude, but to those families and to those classmates who made it possible for you to make it through your rain and to keep your heads high. And I'd like to thank all of those students who helped you out, who would listen when you needed a voice, who would provide that needed shoulder for you to cry on, and who would just say, buck up. It's gonna be all right tomorrow. And you know who you are. You have always been there. You are what we call the gap standers. In other words, you stand in the gap for those who need you. You are that rock in a weary land for those who are weary. Told you were going to church today. Started with Robin. So all you need necessarily is to say the benediction and sit down. But we have more to go. But I am so proud of all of you because each of you looked at your man and woman in the mirror, and you, despite all we threw at you, you came out asking, what can I do to build not only community in this place, but to go out and build a whole, healthy, beloved community. So Sankofa class of 2019, I love you and I greet you and I say, go forth and wait upon the people.
But I'm not finished yet. You see, I am an organizer. I make sure that everyone is represented. I am an organizer. I have still another surprise for you. Like I said, I prepared this speech. I even got little posters there for punctuation points, right? All the things. I want Dr. Z to come to the podium. I want Dr. Z to, whoa! That's libation. That's like libation. When beautiful scholarly words start flying around, that's like libation. So I know many of you heard Dr. Z. No, not too many, but some of you did not. And I was so moved by how Dr. Zaragoza took us so high. Once Dr. Lee asked my good friend Cabby Mitchell, who was a ballet master, right? She asked him, how did you get so high? Your arms on like this and your legs right under. How did you get so high? And he said, it's not how you got up there, it's how you land. Dr. Zaragoza landed in my heart, my soul, and my mind the other day. And I'm going to talk about self-interest in a little bit, but it is in my self-interest to share him with you for the families, so you can see that the reasons why I missed you and took you with me is because of these kinds of words. Thank you.
So you all know that it wasn't just a surprise to you, right? And I share with my colleague Barbara Lahners the concept of being conscripted. And I thank you, Dr. Shepard, for giving me this honor and this place. Hold on for a second, folks. It's going to take us a little bit to get through this, but I do think it will be worth it for us to share together some things, some ideas, some questions as we move forward into the rest of this year and into 2020. I want to begin by remembering that we are on native land. Thank you to all the indigenous communities upon whose lands most of us are visitors. I also want to honor our elders, family members, ancestors, and alums. Family, thank you for sharing yours with us and allowing them to become part of ours. I also want to take a second to thank our glorious Tacoma Evergreen staff. Thank you to Marla, Susan, Natasha, Jason, Lauren, Wanda, Dan, and of course, Vicky. Thank you. Let us give them a round of applause. Sankofas. We're not gooey ducks, are we? As many, if not most of you may know, the Sankofa is a West African Asante Adinkra symbol. It's a bird that walks forward into the future while looking backward at the past and protecting and carrying a precious egg representing the next generation. Past, present, and future combined and interdependent, an appropriate symbol for my themes of empathy, humanity, and memory. But first, congratulations, graduates. You made it. You ducked and dodged, navigated and negotiated many battles en route to your degree. You navigated financial battles, grave illnesses, death of loved ones, work at multiple jobs, battles with self-doubt in the face of ginormous essays, some of which I can take credit for. Some of you battled unsupportive partners. Some went toe-to-toe in various ways throughout their lives. Some fought to get here feeling alone and maneuvering in a system that was not built for them. But you made it. You are the true superheroes, not that Hollywood stuff we see so much about. How many of you were the first in your family to graduate from college? I was the first in my family as well. Born and raised in Northwest Indiana, the son, grandson, and great-grandson of steelworkers who had immigrated from Mexico and Ireland to work in the mills. As our economy in Gary, Hammond, and East Chicago wilted and factories and jobs moved or were automated, the entire region collapsed into a cannibalizing scramble of gangs, drugs, prisons, and casinos. The economic transformation has been at the heart of my life work. As first gen, one of my goals has been to get other poor and working class peoples, especially poor and working class peoples of color, through to their degree. And here we are, at the finish line. And let me tell you, the more of us that make it, the easier it will be for the next generation to expand access to education and take down barriers to success. I know just about every one of y'all. I've had conversations with you, we've had class together, and this is how we are here at Tacoma. We're family, we're tight, we're community. We recognize that in order to get through, we have to build relationships. So often these speeches are about giving advice. But who am I to tell you all how to live your lives? You know your lives far better than anyone else. But I can share with you some lessons that might be helpful, not just for you individually, but for us collectively. And much of what I'm going to say you already know. But sometimes reminders can be good. I speak with you today about empathy, humanity, and memory. I offer them as tools of resilience during these neoliberal times. These are our superpowers. Empathy is a value that all of us can grow within ourselves and with each other. How can we get better at feeling each other's pain, struggle, joy, and success? How do we help each other get through? First is simply to listen. To be empathetic, we have to be present with each other and actually listen. Occasionally shun the screen and welcome the eyes of others. All right, enough preaching. But honestly, let's encourage each other to acknowledge our shared humanity. We are going to need this empathy, listening, hearing, this hanging in with each other if we are going to make the changes we need to make. My mom used to say, "Walk a mile in my shoes before you judge me." And as you've already heard Dr. Gilda Shepherd talk about us here as walking miracles, because of the things that you all have had to endure and fight through to get the education that you deserve. Imagine taking a walk in the shoes of walking miracles. And let's be empathetic, not just with the struggles, but also with the resilience, with the fortitude. We need them all. We have so much to learn from each other. And as we empathize, we rehumanize ourselves and those around us. We are in the midst of a movement for full humanization. That's what intersectionality means to me. Full humanization for all. Part of rehumanizing ourselves has been the practice of mindfulness. You see it everywhere. We can develop our mindfulness skills as individuals as we cope with life on this planet today, but we've also got to think bigger. Our mindfulness can't just be inside ourselves, but must also be outside to develop a social mindfulness of each other's shared humanity, a racial mindfulness of how we all got here and how our different peoples have been treated, a gender mindfulness not only about the ways in which many women have been taken for granted and taken advantage of, but also about the fact that gender is far more complicated than a binary. I'm suggesting a mindfulness and respect for all our differences, as well as an ecological mindfulness that helps us recognize we must take care of our planet. Now I have to speak real for a second. The key cold piece is that those who benefit from the current setup do not want us to work together, and they do not want us to question or even know how much wealth they have. This is where empathy and humanizing each other can play an important role. We can recognize how much we as the 99% have in common, how much we struggle through, while those billionaires have far more than they need or could ever use. At the same time, more non-black folks would support Black Lives Matter and reparations if they had a better historical sense of how slavery dehumanized peoples of African descent, and how this country built its wealth off black labor, sweat, and blood, and how the ongoing legacy of exploitation has led to disproportionate black incarceration and killings by police. Similar for Native peoples. If we are taught and learn more about how these lands came into the possession of Europeans and the blood that the soil holds across this country, we'd be more likely to honor the treaties, stop the pipelines, and give land back. As we work to fully humanize ourselves and each other's, those of us with melanin deficiencies should realize that the lighter your skin, the more often you get the benefit of the doubt, the callback, the good deal, and the let you off with a warning. While folks of color, especially black and brown, are too often looked at with suspicion and seen through a constructed lens of dehumanization. Here's a message primarily from one cis man to other cis men. We need to be better men. And we need to get better at raising boys who treat women as full human beings, who fight for women to be fully paid, not harassed, bullied, or sexually assaulted. We need to listen to women and trans folks and join them in the fights they lead. We need to talk about it and stop looking the other way when we see it happen, when men brag about it, or when they whine and bark when questioned about it. Most of you students came to Evergreen for more than just a degree. You came to learn about yourself, about the world, discover your passion and purpose, join learning communities, and be fully realized human beings. One student has told me, learning at Evergreen is relational. You learn through deep engagement. You find new talents, you develop ones you had, and you grow as people together with your classmates and colleagues. Your Evergreen degree then comes with the responsibility of opening the full humanity to every member of every society you encounter. Like Lizzo says, if I'm shining, everybody gonna shine. That's a call for the full humanization and intersectional approach. Poet Lee Young Lee writes, "It all depends on the course of your memory." In other words, the past that we make out of the past lead us to our understanding of the present and set the stage for how we theorize our capacities, chart our next moves, and build our future. Like the Sankofa, the bird remembering and honoring the past as it moves into its future, protecting the next generation. Can our memory hold the sweep of genocidal atrocities that happened coast to coast? The dehumanization of slavery, the many variations of segregation? Can our memory hold the exploitation of generations of immigrant labor from Europe, Asia, and Latin America? Can it hold children in cages at the border with native boarding schools? Can it hold families separated by slavery and families separated by prisons? Hold drones bombing wedding parties, the destruction of whole countries, or the thousands killed on the job each year? At the same time, can our memory hold the way folks like us, and even many of us here, went on strike, marched for justice, ran campaigns, raised consciousness, sat in, boycotted, gave mutual aid, occupied Wall Street, protected water, sued corporations, investigated corruption, kept vigils, lit candles, spoke up, lived their authentic selves despite gawks and threats, built co-ops, joined hands, got educated, practiced self-defense, fought back, and planned, prefigured, and built alternative worlds? It does all depend on the course of your memory. Historic amnesia will only keep things as they are. Run the Jewels says, our weapon is our memory. Our memory must hold the evils that have been done, or we will repeat them. And our memory must also hold the solidarity, collective action, and vision for building a better nation and world. Remembering, humanizing, and empathizing are not just individual characteristics. They emerge from social and economic systems. We have to fight the systems that strengthen these, we have to fight for systems that strengthen these values and support all of us. We live in systems that weaken our capacity to empathize, humanize, and remember. So as you all know, I'm a political economist by training, but we are all political economists by life experience. Political economy is, for me, the study of power and money. We study that every day, don't we? How it got to be that way, where it is like that, why it's like that, and how to change it. Political economy offers a tool to identify how the ruling class, what gets called the 1%, operates and how they do what they do to exploit the world. These policies encourage some things and discourage others. Our current narrow spectrum of policies keep the rich getting richer and the poor poorer. For example, in 2018, according to Oxfam, 2,200 billionaires saw their wealth grow by 12% last year. Meanwhile, the poorest half of humanity, of all human beings on the globe, saw their wealth decrease by 11%. This inequality is made to seem normal and natural, just the way it is and the way it should be. But in fact, it's a consequence of deliberate decisions to deregulate, privatize, cut social spending like financial aid, and give the wealthiest in corporations giant tax cuts. For most of us, there is nothing liberal or liberating about neoliberalism. It's led to economic instability and inequality, militarized policing, mass incarceration, war, occupation, and accelerated environmental destruction. Neoliberalism is the true face of capitalism. To help us accept and even embrace this, we're encouraged to develop a neoliberal mindset by corporate media and many social institutions who repeat certain fables until they become the framework of our values. The stories are familiar and designed to justify rich getting richer and poor getting poorer. You've heard them. You are all alone. You are to blame. You are not worthy. Government is the problem. Buy is the solution. Rent out whatever you got. There is no alternative, and love it or leave it. Take a moment to think about being all alone. You even have rap lyrics talking about born alone, die alone. I don't know about you, but when I was born, I was not alone.
There you go, Anna.
There was a very important person there with me, and she was actually watching on the live stream yesterday. My most important moment from yesterday was when she texted me and told me how much she loved me. So I was not alone when I was born. And I pray none of you die alone, but you die comfortably in a bed surrounded by people who love you. We are not alone. Neoliberalism is an anti-empathy, anti-human, anti-memory machine designed to restore the full spectrum dominance of the wealthiest. We got to dodge this lobotomy by telling other kinds of stories. You are not alone. Lean on me. Let's build kinship. It's not all your fault. We are worthy and we are enough. The public sector should be about people and planet, not profits. Share, trade, reuse. It doesn't have to be this way, and love is an action. Act. These are our values of collective resilience and liberation. I congratulate each and every one of you graduates and thank all who supported you on your journey. You graduates are the reason that we are here today. Future doctors, lawyers, filmmakers, writers, rhymers, educated office holders, organizers, revolutionaries. We're told superheroes are liberators. But who are the superheroes we need now? Some of you have seen these superhero movies, right? Am I the only one that's seen these? Folks seen these superhero movies? Some of you have seen them. We're surrounded by them. But I suggest that these movies about infinity wars and end games are infinite dead ends. They're entertaining, There's action, romance, mystery, gadgets, twists, turns, jokes. I get all that. Many of them are kind of basically just soap operas for dudes. Don't get me wrong, I love a bunch of them, especially Black Panther. But I gotta say, in addition to the cinematic sublime and the magic of the movies, it's bait. They conjure a world of super beings who save us while we're baited into passivity and encouraged to wait on the sidelines for someone to come to our rescue. Don't take the wait bait. You are the superheroes we need. At the top of your Evergreen degree, it should say, we're the ones we're waiting for. You can't solve every problem, but you could choose one and work with others and link those efforts with more folks and build movements. Let's end our infatuation with superheroes and saviors. We need us. We need collective action and social solutions that value everyone. We need institutions like Evergreen that allow, encourage, and reward critical thinking, teamwork, and creativity to help develop collective liberators, problem solvers, and change makers. In other words, superheroes. So superheroes, remember, we can do better. Neoliberalism, white supremacy, patriarchy are the problems. Empathy, humanization, and memory are part of the solution. If you take nothing else away from this talk, please remember it does not have to be this way. These are powerful words. Take a deep breath, mindfully speak them to yourself in your hearts, but don't stop there. After saying it does not have to be this way, finish this sentence. It could be like, and fill in that blank. It doesn't have to be this way, and it can be like, fill in the blank. It doesn't have to be this way, it can be like. And as alums of Evergreen, I can't wait to see how you fill in that blank with the next chapters of your lives. With the superpowers of love, empathy, and memory, together we can build the world it can be like that we want to see. Join us in helping to build that world before it's too late. As they say at Evergreen, dig deep, but don't dig deep like an ostrich. Do it like Sankofa superheroes. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I am now going to introduce our alumni speaker, Corbett Mosley, who in this community needs no introduction. He's a senior policy analyst for the city of Tacoma in the Office of Equity and Human Rights. He's a 2011 Tacoma graduate. He's Master of Public Administration from Evergreen in 2016. He does the the Hilltop Action Journal. Still got Run the Jewels on the brain. And he is an incredible speaker. Please join me in welcoming Corbett Mosley. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So first, I'm really honored to be here and celebrate with you today. Before I start, I want to share a little bit about myself, because it's a journey, and I want to share a little bit of that journey with you. Currently, I have more than a decade now of experience working in both the nonprofit and government sector on a broad range of issues, including education, housing, and workforce development. And for the last 3.5 years, I was the Director of Family Stability Initiatives at United Way of Pierce County, was responsible for leading initiatives and other system change activities to reduce poverty and increase the number of families that are financially stable in Pierce County. This included launching the Center for Strong Families initiative that responds to the problem of persistent poverty, financial instability, and low wage stagnation among families.
with the core components really being that the model is aimed at helping working families increase their earnings potential through job training and education, retain those earnings through better financial management, and grow their income. It's work that when I graduated, I don't think that I actually thought that I would be doing right away, and it took a little while to get there, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But my role was kind of interesting to be able to pull together multiple organizations to create a strong network of providers, creating that backbone support for seed funding, program guidance, training, and technical assistance to really be able to establish and maintain quality standards across the network. And I recently joined the city of Tacoma as a senior policy analyst with the Office of Equity and Human Rights. And I'm really looking forward to that work that really is designed to eliminate disparities in safety and health, engage Tacoma's immigrant and refugee populations, and efforts to really build supportive communities for young men of color and clear pathways for opportunity. As you do the work that you love, it's important to take care of yourself. That's one of the things that I've really learned. As an Evergreen Tacoma graduate, I know your education has prepared you for this next phase, for what you want to work on, what you enjoy and love doing as you depart to serve. Thinking of everything as a system, as a big picture, testing your decisions, your solutions, your ideas with real people, working across differences in small groups, constantly learning and growing. Whatever you don't know, you can find the answer to or know how to ask for help. Bringing your lived experiences to the conversation to find the right solutions. For some of you, I'm sure getting to this moment today was not easy. You had obstacles and challenges you overcame to get here, and those experiences along the journey matter too. I came to Evergreen Tacoma campus with a few of my own, and that has taught me something about myself and about the world around me. A high school dropout, I received my GED in the Pierce County Jail at 18 years old. I didn't write very well. I didn't have much experience speaking in front of a group this large. I didn't have access to a support system of friends and families who had earned a degree, and I was the first person in my family to go to college. I also had 3 children that I needed to support, and I wasn't sure how I'd make it all work. Some things you have control over, and some things you don't. My youngest son, Andre, was born with kidney disease, and so for the first year of his life, we did albumin infusion 6 days a week right down the street for 3 to 4 hours per day. He would hook up to a machine that would give his body the protein and things that he needed to live, and I would do my schoolwork for TCC at that time if he was asleep, and if not, we would read or play. I would work evenings and nights in low-paying jobs to make ends meet. Sometimes I would get lucky and catch a shift at the convention center as a banquet server. I remember one time in a crowd, in a room probably about twice this size as a banquet server for a large event honoring Dr. Wigman, who created the community healthcare system. And there was a pastor, Ron Vigneck. He passed away. He was on the east side. He's a well-known community activist. I met him at that event, and he went on stage, and he was the keynote speaker to honor Dr. Wigman. And in the middle of his speech, he actually turned and said, and there's somebody in this room that's a banquet server. His name is Corbett Mosley, and he pointed me out. And he said, watch him. He's going to do something. I had just met him that day. It was a powerful thing for me. You never know who's watching. You never know who's watching. Andre's kidneys were made, his filters were a little bit too big. So as much as we poured protein in and pumped in that needed medicine every day for the first year, it was like pouring water in a cup with a hole in it. So at 1 year old, we were forced to have both of his kidneys removed. I would have done anything in the world for my son not to have to go through that, and I thought of what I would tell him and each of my boys about life. I would think in my head, you can accomplish anything you put your mind to, despite challenges. You're going to have to go through some challenges, and you're going to have to overcome them. I thought about how I was going to tell them those things and live with my own limitations, not overcoming my own challenges, not facing my own fears. So I made a promise to myself. I want my children to have a better life. I wanted to prove people wrong. I wanted my family to be proud of me. And I made a promise that if the surgery went well that day, that we were taking both of his kidneys out, that I would also do everything that I could to serve my community well and give back, and I've done that. After a 5-hour surgery in the morning at Seattle Children's Hospital and spending a few hours in the intensive care unit recovering, I went to class that night, right in here, not testing my luck or breaking my promise. It's important to know your why, I think is the point. I worked as a nighttime shift coordinator at the rescue mission for $11.50 per hour. During the day, I worked at Maxine Mims Academy for suspended and expelled youth. I finally found an AmeriCorps service position opening up the REACH Center, making $11.50 a month as I was going through school. We lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with me in the living room and my boys in the bedroom. I began thinking of all of the career moves and as projects that I wanted to complete and volunteering for organizations that I was passionate about. I launched projects with friends just because, things that we were interested in, like Tacoma Roots, that we've done events here over the last year. Message Magazine that launched in 2007, we printed 100,000 copies of that publication to inspire, educate, and promote growth in the community on issues related to employment and education and housing and building your credit and going back to school. The Hilltop Action Journal, Why Tacoma, and others. I learned that you don't need permission to walk in your purpose. I wanted to share with you some things that I wish I had thought a little more about when I first graduated. One, know your vision. Take the time to really consider what you want out of life and what will make you happy. Your life has a number of important facets and dimensions, all of which deserve some attention. Create a vision that you want for your life and your future and picture yourself successful. Know you. Know who you are in this moment, what knowledge you have, what skills you bring to the table, what talents and abilities you possess. What are your gifts and what will help you achieve your goals and your vision? Know what you want. Write down your goals. Identify areas where you want to strengthen or goals you want to achieve. When you write down your goals, they have a way of becoming reality. And when working towards your goals gets challenging, it's important to remember why this goal is important to you, to help you keep taking those steps forward. Know your people. Create your people network. If you surround yourself with people that build you up, you're going to become great. Make a concentrated effort to connect with people that will support you as you work towards your goal and that you can learn from to be better at working towards that goal. And I actually created a little sheet of paper for myself that I called the Rule of 5 for me. And I thought about the goal that I really wanted to achieve, and I set out 5 people who encouraged me and build me up, 5 people that I was referred to, and 5 people that I didn't know that I needed to seek out. And then anybody that was negative, you got to get them out of your life. Know how to sell yourself. So you creating your 30-second commercial or however you choose to do that, but to develop a strategy for your career. Memorize your top 3 skills. When an employer asks you about your skills and abilities, you should be able to tell them that. And along the way, fill your cup every day. Play, sing, laugh, love. Take care of your health and peace of mind. Take vacations to places you've never been. Spend time in places that make you feel at home. Watch the sun go up and tides go out. All of these tips are just some ideas that I wanted to share with you to better know who you are and be the best at what you love and ultimately achieve your vision. It's been a few years since my promise, still challenging myself, like today, standing up before you, telling a little bit of my story. And I can see today that you've kept your promise to yourself too. Congratulations, Tacoma program, class of 2019. Enjoy your journey.
Thank you, Corbett. That was amazing. So next, I want to introduce Lacey Ricci and Jesse Stafford to present the Senior Mark of Legacy Award.
Hello, everyone. Welcome for being here. Blink your eyes if you're just hungry. Those of you that didn't blink your eyes, you're hungry. So I'm a part of SNA. I helped throw this together today. Thank you all for coming out. So Lacey, and we voted this year for the Senior Mark of Legacy to give not necessarily a physical item, but something monetary. So what we have here is a check for $500 for the advertising recruitment for next year's. I heard that there's a new person taking over this position, so I don't know how they're gonna work with it, but it's exciting. I love it. Thank you. So that's going on for them. Also, we'll be eating soon, and for all the graduates and the faculty, my family and I made these. Hold on, I gotta find them. There you go, these cedar roses. So before you leave, I'm gonna give you guys a cedar rose. Okay, so this is my give back from my family to you guys. So there you go. So yeah, that's it, and we shall continue with roll call. Thank you.
Again, this has been such a special day, and we've had a lot of amazing speakers, and we've had an opportunity to see and say thank you to some people. I know that we didn't get a chance to say thank you to everyone that deserves thanks. I do want to take this opportunity that I missed earlier to say thank you to Dr. Hardiman as well, who is here. So thank you so much. And with that, I would like to bring up Natasha again and Dr. Terry Ford for the profile of graduates and roll call.
So I just want to say thank you, everyone, especially for bearing with me on my first journey on the other side of the podium. I've definitely learned some things, like take better notes, write things down. Don't forget folks like Jason Reddick, who is also a staff here and doing amazing things with our entrepreneurship initiative. And I just want to say thank you, everyone, for coming and getting to know us. This is part of our many traditions that we have here at the Evergreen State College Tacoma program, and this is part of what makes us feel like a family and to feel like a community. And so to have all of us in this space sharing in this moment with our graduating seniors, yes, we thank you. We thank you for being a part of this. I also want to say, Corbett, I'm probably gonna need those notes because I want to write all that down. I didn't have enough paper, so please share that. Share that again and again and again. I also want to thank Tacoma Community College for all the graduates that it sent us. So if you're a graduate from TCC, please stand up. Yes. I also want to say thank you to Pierce College for sending us graduates. If you're a graduate from Pierce College, please stand up. All right. All right, now, if you're a graduate from Clover Park, we thank you. Please stand up. Thank you. Where are my Highline people at? Please stand up. Green River. We got any Green River folks? All right, yes. Thank you. And if you're coming from the military, we want to thank you and honor you as well. So please stand up. Thank you for being a part of this journey here with us at Evergreen, Tacoma. I also want to recognize my first generation students. We know how important it is for us to be that person that folks look to and say, I can do that too. So if you're first generation, please stand up. Thank you. Thank you, families, for all the support you've given our students. Yes. So, we also want to recognize our Master in Teaching students that are here with us celebrating as part of the Tacoma cohort. Please rise. Thank you. Thank you for being with us. Now, as you know, we are a very diverse campus. Am I right? Yes. We've had folks in their 20s. We've got about 8 of us. Well, I can't say us. I'm not in there. We won't talk about that, okay? That's not up for discussion. We also have some folks in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. Yeah. While most of our population comes from Pierce County, we also know that folks travel a little further. We've got folks that drive from King County, Thurston County. Yes, we want to apologize for the construction. It's not our fault. We liked our city the way it was, okay? We've also got folks that come from Yolo County. Yolo, right? Jefferson County, Texas, and the Ivory Coast. We've got some far travelers. We have folks that speak 6 or more languages. We have Caucasian, African American, Latin, Asian, Native, East European, multiracial, Middle Eastern, Arab, and African. So yes, we do it all together, folks. As Dr. Z was saying, the more we come together, the better we can make this world. So we do not discriminate, we don't hate, we love on everybody, and we just want to keep our numbers growing, so come see me afterwards. Now, our graduates don't just do big things here, they're gonna go and do big things out in the world, right? We have folks that will be doing the Masters in Public Administration, which I should know, I'll be with you guys, so I get that right. Here at Evergreen, at our first cohort here in Tacoma. So thank you and congratulations. We also have folks that are going to be moving on to the Master of Fine Arts, Women's Studies, International Studies, Adult Education, because we all know how important that is, right? Social Work, Masters in Art Therapy, Masters of Arts in African American Studies, Psychology, Masters in Teaching, Canine Studies. Did I not say that we're interdisciplinary? Yes, I did. Okay. Masters in Business and Masters in Public Health. We have folks, like I mentioned, that will be staying here with us at Evergreen because we just can't get enough. But we also have folks that are going to be going off to Goddard, University of Washington, both in Seattle and Tacoma, Bowling Green University, Seattle University, University of Southern California, Liberty University, Central University, Capella, and Bergen University. So congratulations, class of 2019. We look forward to having you come back and give many more speeches at this very podium. All right? All right. Well, I guess we should get to it, right? You guys want to walk across that stage, right? All right. Let's get to it. Roll call, right? All right. My seniors, will you rise? And welcome. Thank you. Yes.
To the class class of 2019. My name is Dr. Sherry Walton. I'm one of the faculty with the Master in Teaching program. Thank you. Thank you. We want to thank the Tacoma campus for hosting us these last 2 years. We so much appreciate the work of the staff as they supported us. Thank you so much. And we appreciate the relationship that we've had with various faculty here at Tacoma. So thank you so much for having us here. And now, I think what's going to happen is y'all will walk up and give Terry your card, Dr. Ford your card. No cards. Well, you know it's lucky that we know these folks, right? These are actually some of the graduates of the MIT program. There are other people whose work commitments didn't allow them to be here. But these are wonderful representatives who will give you a sense of the range of places that people are going to be teaching and the wonderful work that they're going to be doing to bring more equitable possibilities to public education. So please join me in thanking them for the work that they've committed to.
Taylor Schomer, secondary mathematics. Kelsey Stegner, secondary English language arts. Rachel Cleveland, elementary education. Gracia Ramirez, middle level humanities. Camila Davila Schrant, secondary social studies. Keisha Husbands, elementary education. Tom Marion, elementary education.
Congratulations, MIT. Thank you. All right. Let's bring up our first senior. Okay. I ended up with two of those. Yes, I do. Miss Robin D. Henderson. Miss Letitia Lawrence. Miss Andrea McKinney. Miss Dominica Good.
Oh, sorry.
Miss Angelie Stewart. Miss Kathlena Lee. Miss Newly Brandy Gilly. Lori Farrell. Mr. David Sullivan. Miss Sukara Granberry. Miss Patricia Eugenia Gatlin Walker. Miss Bertha Horn. Miss Tracy Corley. Miss Jennifer Keith. Sandy Oswald and her future greener, Emily Oswald. Mr. Tyler Curry. Miss Megan Best. Miss Savannah McClellan. Mr. Paul Stevenson. Miss Kiona Lewis. Miss Miriam Conde. Miss Yasmin Traore. Mr. Justin Kindell. Miss born to serve, right? Tacoma! And to learn. The born to serve. Tacoma! Congratulations!
So I know everybody wants to eat, but I have a very special treat for you. I want to introduce Kwabena. He is an Evergreen alumni from 2015. He's going to give you a quick spiel on the Peace Bus. Welcome, Kwabi.
What's up, guys? So I know you guys are hungry, but I'm just gonna explain something real quick. I went to Evergreen. I graduated here in 2015. I don't think Dr. Zaragoza for letting me come here on stage and say what I need to say. That vehicle right over there, the Peace Bus, right over there, it's basically every weekend me and my friends go out, we give out socks to people in need, but it's a mobile podcast. We've been interviewing people about their concept of peace in Tacoma, and this summer we're gonna be driving from Tacoma to the border of Mexico to interview people about their concept of peace and try to create some solidarity. If you guys wanna meet me over there, if you're eating or whatnot, I have some cards. I'm looking to, expand or hopefully get some donations, so that's my whole spiel. And Dr. Bacho, he inspired me. He inspired me to do what I'm doing now, depart to serve. So, yeah, that's about it. All right.
Thanks, Kwabi. All right, so we have food ready for you guys. It is a self-serve, but please be mindful. We only have a certain amount of portions, so just be mindful of that. Enjoy your food. Thanks for coming out. Congratulations.